Ariel Helwani in Las Vegas alongside Ray Borg, Beneil Dariush, Evan Dunham, Tony Ferguson, the UFC flyweight champion Demetrious Johnson, the Motown phenom himself, Kevin Lee, Fabricio Verdum. You can guarantee right here on camera you will be fighting on Saturday.
I will guarantee everyone that I will make it to the fight and win the fight.
Oh, and win the fight. We're getting that.
Yeah.
You are guaranteeing it.
I'm
How are you winning?
guaranteeing it. I say third round submission.
So we were actually on the strip on Sunday. Sunday's usually my day off, and I like to go for a walk just because my body gets kind of stiff. And so we walked outside on the strip, and then we started getting the reports and people talking. So we went straight back to the car. But you know, all night we were looking at the news to see what's going on, and they just said, you know, 50 injured, 2 dead. That's what we knew. And then we woke up in the morning, and the number had changed to 500 injured and 59 passed. And man, I was kind of heartbroken because I was right there,
Yeah.
and you know, I didn't really know what to even think at the time, and it still feels that way. I just don't get, like, what does that even do? What was the purpose of that? I don't think it accomplished anything. So it just heartbroken is the best way to put it.
How would you describe the feeling in the city over the past couple of days as opposed to just, you know, a regular week in October?
It's definitely down. You know what I mean? People are definitely down. You know, it's people are down.
Tony, it's good to see you. It's good to talk to you. I was worried that you weren't talking to me. Wow, how about this? A lot of love. I appreciate it.
Sure, man. There's a lot more things to worry about in this world than bullshit.
The big question is, why do you capitalize the first letter of every word on Twitter?
Because it pisses people off, of course. I'm very educated, but I just think it's funny. And then when people say that, it gets their attention because the grammar Nazis out there, they need to just chill the fuck out. Because I never read a rule book for Instagram or for Twitter or for any social media. Now, if you want an MLA format or an APA format, I'll write it for you. There's no problem. I'll write you a thesis with a nice hypothesis to back it up. So if we really want to, we can go that route. But I like messing around with people because it gets them to interact with me. And if they want to interact negatively or positively, I'm always going to be positive, straight up.
The word is that your deal was restructured a little bit. Could you tell us any more on that?
It just got restructured. You know, I just want to be on the same playing field as all the other champions. You know, all the other champions. You know, and it's all public record. You know, I mean, Dana White. You know, those guys, they don't say it, but they kind of say it. But you know, every single champion out there gets, you know, 500 flat to win and plus pay-per-view points, you know, where I'm not to that level yet. So that's my goal. That's what I believe first-round management can get me to. You know, it's not like this is my first or second or fourth title defense. I just didn't win the belt. You know, you got guys who win the belt and they get 500 flat straight up, and then they get, you know, pay-per-view points where it's like, dude, 10 title defenses and going on my 11th one, I believe. Hopefully I'm successful.
Yeah.
Me and Tony, we definitely the two top guys in this division right now. This is for the real lightweight championship. If Conor can walk around and call himself the champ and he can sleep good at night and kiss his girl and sleep on a bed of hundreds, I hope he do. He only got one fight in this division. Tony's got 12 wins. I've got 10 wins. We've already been through the who's who of 155, and this establishes the true champion. So if he wants a shot at a real champion, then he know who to come to. If not, maybe he should go back, take a fight versus Diaz or something like that. Show that you can beat the man, because like I said, as far as I'm concerned, he then lost his 3 of his last 4 fights. He just got out wrestled by a man that's this tall, a boxer, 30, 40 pounds lighter than me, and is a boxer, and he out wrestled him. So he got to show me a little bit more. He got to start barking at me. I ain't really that impressed. I like a good challenge. He ain't the biggest challenge right now at 155.
Did what happened in Houston, in your hometown, you're so proud to be from there, in the midst of this training camp, give you a little extra motivation? Like you have to represent on Saturday for them. Did you think of it that way? Did you try to use that as fuel for the fight?
Not at all. You know, it's really emotional. You know, it's really taxing on your body as well as your mind. You know, it's kind of hard to really try to think about fighting whenever there's people out there lost everything, and I'm out here trying to fight somebody that didn't even do anything to me for some money, and people out there just lost their job and all of that. You know, it's just kind of hard. You know, in my head, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not focused.
You're not?
No.
Did you consider pulling out?
No, I did for a few seconds, but I was like, nah, I would never do that.
When you say you're not focused, is it because you're worried or thinking about other things, or is it just hard to kind of get excited for a fight when, as you say, you know, people back home are dealing with these real matters?
Yeah, it's really that. You know, everyone that back home, a couple of family members dealing with a tragedy like what happened in Houston, and then coming here, then hearing all this bad stuff that's happened, then it's like, what the hell is going on? I was expecting for the whole card to be canceled, really.
Now, what's your mindset like going into this fight? There's been a lot going on outside of the fight for you. Has it been hard to focus?
Yes, I have my focus normally. I like a very, very strong because my goal is like the title shot again. You know, I want to fight for the title shot. I know that I have a good fight. This is a very important fight for me because good knockout, good submission, like a very excited fight. I'm in the next one. You know.
You think so? You think you'll be the next?
I think it's so because I'm in the rank. I'm in the second one.
Yeah.
I know Overeem versus France is a good fight too, but this is in December. You know, all three. Me, Overeem, and Francis have a good opportunity to go to the title shot.
Right now I'm probably like 74, something like that. So I have a decent little cut. And it ain't gonna be nothing different. I've cut from a lot higher than that, so it's gonna be smooth.
So that's normal day before weigh-ins?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be smooth. Watch, I mean, even I carry a lot of muscle, so it's a lot easier for me to cut the water, and I'm just not a bitch about it. Like I had tiramisu last night, so I look, the shit gonna hurt when they get down to the end, but I'm a man up about it, especially when you talk about 20%. There's a lot of things I do for 40, 50 G's. I'll tell you that right now.
I prepared night and day. This wasn't an easy camp. This was hard, man. I did the joking about training with Yogi Bear and the Coyotes. It's funny. My training partner right there, Alex and Randy, they would run with me every night. And if I didn't have anybody to run me, they were following me with the car. And sometimes you didn't feel like you're running by yourself. So it makes you run a little bit faster, right? But except for me, I would have choked that bitch out, no matter what it was. I'm not afraid of any animal, any human being. As far as the fight's concerned, Kevin Lee is not going to propose a threat to me. And I will have my hand raised in victory.
I know I'm better than Demetrious Johnson in the scrambles. All it would mean to me is just stamping my legacy. I'm not worried too much about breaking his title record. I mean, I could have fought him one fight ago or 2 fights from now, and the goal is still always to get that belt and start my era and start my legacy. So, it's just a little bit of a icing on the cake to halt that record.
I wonder, what could you guys ask me within 24 hours? Please, amuse me. I'm really looking forward to this. I just see myself as a hard worker. Like I said, man, I worked in a warehouse making $10.76 an hour, running home, telling my boss I need to poop on the toilet, and sitting here watching Kid Yamamoto fighting Dream, the World Grand Prix, right? And, I was running home watching Joseph Benavidez fighting Dominic Cruz. And I'll never forget those days because that's what makes me appreciate where I'm at now. You see a lot of guys, they get the belt, they get flashy, they start wearing glasses indoor, and they start doing all this other shit. And don't get me wrong, like I have been good to myself, and my family has a wonderful life, and a beautiful house. But at the same time, I never forget those days where I came from, where I was the guy on the other side of the TV screen watching these other guys fight. And so I think it's good to be a champion that's humble and to let everybody know that I'm a human being just like everybody else. I don't have to pretend like I'm on a different atmosphere. Now, when it comes to my skill set, absolutely I'm on a different planet. But as a normal human being, I'm pretty sure I put my leg on, my pants on just like you do every day, one leg at a time.
Here he is, the Motown phenom himself, Kevin Lee, has arrived. It is 11 a.m. Pacific time. Takes a deep breath, wipes his face with his towel. He is about to step on the scale. Cannot be over 155. 156 for Kevin Lee. 156 for Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee appears to be stunned. He thought he was going to make the weight. Bob Bennett says he is 156. Kevin Lee is back. He says, let's go. He shakes his head. He is confident as can be. He is stepping on to the scale right now. He is about to step on the scale. He is getting ready. Bob Bennett wishes him good luck. Standing with his head held high, appears to be confident. Kevin Lee is flexing. He has to hit 155. This is his chance. No time to spare. No more chances. Kevin Lee Has to hit 155. 154.5 for Kevin Lee as he raises the number one. He has made the weight, and that means our interim lightweight title fight is official. We're not quite back to normal here in Las Vegas. Slowly but surely, it seems like things are kind of getting back to normal, and hopefully UFC 216 tomorrow night here at the T-Mobile Arena can help begin that healing for this community. The UFC, as we said earlier in the week, has long been the hometown team here before the Golden Knights and the Raiders eventually came to town. So I think this is an important thing for the community, and it's somewhat coincidental that, you know, of all weekends the UFC is here. They could be anywhere in the world. And so it seems as though they're going to be honoring their hometown city tomorrow night throughout the card, wearing t-shirts that say Vegas Strong. The vibe here is slowly, like I said, getting back to normal. A nice little crowd at the weigh-ins. Looking forward to tomorrow night, watching some fun fights. Hopefully it turns out to be a great night for the company, for the fighters, for everyone involved, for the MMA community, and of course, most importantly, for Las Vegas, Nevada as well.
Felt great. Felt really good, you know. I did everything I wanted to do, except put him away. I wanted to put him away, but tough guy. I wanted to go out there and make sure that I implemented my game plan, because I, you know, ultimately knew what his game plan would be. He would try to strike with me at first, and when he realized that wasn't working, he'll go for the clinch, try to take me down. Was ready for it, you know. We prepared for that, we trained for that, and went out there and executed.
Describe what you were thinking in the cage after, like, Cormier's trying to get you excited, and if someone was just turning on the TV, they may have thought that you lost. Like you didn't even smile. What was going through your mind there? What was leading to that sort of body language?
I don't know, man. I really don't know. I felt like crying or something. I don't know what it was, but I don't know.
Did you feel like crying because of the win itself, or because everything was coming, all the emotions?
Yeah, maybe just everything finally is falling into place for me a little bit, and I don't know. I just put a lot of pressure on myself for this. I don't know if it was not pressure, but whatever it was, you know, like I said, I had a lot of things going on in my personal life that leading up to this fight, it was like, man, I just either needed to fight, and then to get out of that, I expected a war with this guy. I expected to have to fight tooth and nail and come out broken, and it played out the way it did, so I was just overwhelmed.
Tem que falar hi, assim, hi. Muito feliz, eu acho que é uma felicidade sem tamanho, mas como eu falei em todas as entrevistas, é só o início e o começo da minha carreira começou agora.
I'm very happy. It's been a very emotional win for me, but as I said before, is only the first step of my career from now on.
I go out there and I'm hoping that I'm going to get the fight of the night, because to be honest, I don't make that much money, so the fight of the night is the real honor, to show you that you did what you were supposed to do. You came here and you put on a great show.
Couple more fights still to go, with some good fighters there, but are you feeling you're the leader in the clubhouse?
Come on.
Because after my first fight, I went and looked at everyone in the bantamweight division. I started looking at all the guys I could potentially be fighting. Duquesnoy was like the furthest guy on the list. I'm like, there's no way they're going to put two guys that are 15-1, just got in the show. There's no way him and I are going to fight. That's not likely. And then, when the phone call came and it was Tom Duquesnoy, I'm like, well, I recognize that name. I went through it, looked, and I was like, that's definitely the fire kid, the French kid that, everyone's been talking about. I'm like, there's no way that they're going to give me that fight. And I told my manager, and I was like, I can beat this kid, but he goes, I don't really think you're going to get this fight. And sure enough, I got a phone call maybe an hour later. He goes, yeah, and they want to give it to somebody else. And then for whatever reason, that person said no, and I already said yes. And so I got plugged in the fight. I'm not sure this is a fight that necessarily, was a match made in heaven for the UFC, but I think it was just he said yes, I said yes, and you know what I mean. The couple other guys fell through, and then I was the other guy that said yes, and it was like, all right, well, let's just do this. And I think that's how it happened.
Dana asked me to come and sing the national anthem, and I started practicing it, and I kept getting to the rockets' red glare and the bombs bursting in there, and it didn't feel right. Just didn't feel right. And I was actually going to call him and tell him I didn't think I could do it. And I literally grabbed my phone, picked it up, and you know how when you flip your phone and it just kind of comes on nowadays? My music page was on once I opened it, And the first song that was on, like the picture of the album was Ray Charles, and it was America the Beautiful. And something said, everything's pointing there. And I called Dana back. I said, I just feel like it's the wrong time for that right now. You know what I mean? I mean, I love my country and I love the anthem and all that, whatever. But it just seemed like this was a little bit more healing, and the crown that good. And brother, I like that sentiment right now, just a little bit better, considering there was a war zone here like 5 days ago. I don't need to talk about bombs and guns. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's just how it felt for me.
All I got to do is touch gloves, and then everything else is just natural. It's what I do so much. It's like a second language. I don't have to overthink it. It just happens. But it's hard to get that out of your head. And getting it out of your head, I feel like I'm being selfish. When I'm like, oh, don't think about it. What do you mean don't think about it? People passed. Good people who, you know, have kids, things like that. You keep seeing stories on Instagram, on Twitter, on social media about some of the families that made it, some of the victims that, you know, pulled through, and then you see some things that the families didn't pull through, and they lost a mother who had 4 kids, fathers, husbands, children. So I felt selfish if I just pushed it off. I accepted it, and I just think to myself, if I get an opportunity, I want to help out, and I just want to let them know that we're here for them.
Do you really think a win over Walt Harris could propel you back to a shot at Stipe?
Yes, for sure, man. 100%. I told you, man. That depend the performance. I think my performance is very well. It's very good performance, and I think the next one I deserve not just for this fight, not just this fight. You know, I think in my whole career, you know, I trained for 20 years, and I think I deserve again. I got two times the belt, 2 times the interim belt, and after versus Mark Hunt versus Cain Velasquez, I show this, and I show again. I have a 4 years old, but I show again. I know the way, you know. 100% I got it again.
You know, it was definitely not the performance that I wanted at all. And I don't mean that just because I didn't win. I mean because I didn't implement the things that my coaches wanted me to. I should have gone a different route, and I think if I would have went that route, it would have been a little bit better for me, and it would have, you know, played into my favor. But, you know, I'm 24 years old. What can I say? Fight for a world title against what you guys call the pound-for-pound greatest. So all I'm going to do is just learn.
It's funny. I never, you know, you see a lot of people out there, they're doing their training videos, their vlogs and stuff. I don't show any of my training. I just don't do it. It's none of your guys' business what I'm doing in the gym. But we do have the embedded crew coming out there, and I'll let them film my warm-up. And they're like, dude, you need to let us, you know, film your sparring, because the stuff that you're doing in sparring, you're actually doing in an octagon. And Rick Lee, he will tell you already in Edmonton, I was practicing throwing people up. I do it all the time in the gym. When I was in the octagon fighting Ray Borg, he's very tough dude. His game is scrambling. That's what he likes to do. And when he was like, oh, I'm out scrambling with DJ, I'm gonna get on top of him. And even when he took me down, I was like, okay, you took me down. Are you gonna pass guard? No. And I elevated him, then I got back up, and I was like, okay, you took me down. That was the best opportunity you had. And then when I had his back, he was very planted. His weight was planted. And Matt, a couple weeks ago, he was saying when somebody's planted, you have to shift their weight. And when they shift their weight, they're light. So when I had him, I was kneeing him. I was going to try to kick him in the face, but I knew he was looking for that to try to take me down. So I kneed him, and then I shook his weight. I shifted his weight. And then when he shifted, he went back through an elbow, and I was like, got you. And that's when I threw him up and then landed an armbar. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
With Tony, he's a dog. I said it before the fight. He's definitely been the toughest fight in this division. He's a rightful champion. I tried to make it a dog fight with him. I tried to let him know it's going to be a fight. At the end of the first, you got to put that man out. He there's no quit in him. He kept coming forward, and he kept the pressure, and he did what a champion is supposed to do. And I wish him nothing but the best. You know, it might have been a lot of back and forth before, but we come from the same alma mater. I know how tough Tony Ferguson is, and he's the best man in the world.
Kevin, did the staph infection come up at all, or did the doctor, no one ever, commissioned, did they have no idea about it?
I tried my best to hide it. I wasn't, it's a big event. A lot has been happening with the UFC these last couple events, and I wasn't going to let nobody down. I worked my whole life for this, it was like a culmination of things. But I'm not gonna let this stop me. I'm still gonna be a world champion. It might not happen when I'm 25, but
I was saving my good material for him, literally. I mean, honestly, I didn't want to say anything against Kevin Lee. He didn't deserve to be up here, but he showed that tonight. He was the only game opponent that wanted to sign a dotted line. He made the weight. Everybody was panicking when he didn't even make weight. Everybody was telling me, Tony, are you worried? Are you worried? Are you worried? Absolutely not. We come from the same background. I knew he was going to make weight. So if Conor's next, no matter what, if he doesn't want to defend it, then whatever. I don't care. I'm here right now. I just won this belt. I'm fresh. I don't have any injuries. I'm ready to go back to the drawing board on Monday. There's a couple things I really want to work on and sharpen up, especially my elbows. My takedown defense, I mean, really, I don't care. My takedowns are amazing. My takedown defense was amazing, but that's what I did. I sacrificed my takedown defense to get into my submission game. I wanted to demonstrate to everybody that I'm a full, complete mixed martial artist. I don't just have hands. Because in the beginning, I was knocking out people. You guys remember that? And then I learned Muay Thai, and then I learned Jiu-Jitsu. And I just learned how to put it all together. You don't have to take so many shots like I did in the first one, but you have to might sometimes give one to take two, or take one to give two.
Looking ahead to a fight against McGregor, you know, he's a guy that's a really good counter puncher, and you know, but he has some good things going for you. How do you break that matchup down? Do you feel like the matchup favors you, or do you think it's kind of even and it's going to be who's on top of his game that night?
I'll ankle pick him, no problem. I'll set him on his ass and everybody's the same size on the ground. Conor McGregor poses no threat to me, especially when I hit him with the jab. He's going to be running away like Katsunori Kakuno did, and I'll chase after his ass like a cornerback, and I'll slam him to the ground, and I'll finish him with a Darce choke or any kind of choke of my please. The boy's scared. He's never mentioned my name not one time. Not one time during this whole entire talk. I've been here. I'm 10 consecutive victories. I'm a lightweight, interim lightweight champ. But like I said, it doesn't matter who they put in front of me. It could be Khabib, it could be Conor. I'm going to go back to the drawing board, and I'm going to talk to my managers. I'm going to talk to my agents. I'm going to talk to my team. But the fight is with Conor. It is with Conor. You can't run anymore, man. You're in check. And I'm great at chess.
It has been an unforgettable week here in Las Vegas. As I said on Wednesday, we were all very proud to be here to cover the event for all of you. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage of UFC 216. Once again, UFC doing a fantastic job of honoring its hometown here this evening. It has been a lot of fun to cover it with the crew here in Vegas. And one more time, we wish the very best to everyone who has been affected by the shooting this past Sunday, and we hope that anyone who was affected and who was in attendance, whether it's the first responders or any of the concert goers, they were able to enjoy the evening and think about something else for a couple hours. In the end, that's the beauty of sport, and that's why we love sports like MMA so much. Allows you to escape from reality for a few hours and think about something else, and certainly UFC 216 gave you a lot of opportunities to do that. It was a very entertaining night.